Hi, my name is Bob and I'm renovating this 1973 Egg Harbor Sportfish boat. Well, hello everyone, welcome to Renovation Sportfish. Well, my break is over and I'm back to creating videos again. Now, like any month, there's good things that happen in a month and there's not so good things that happen in a month. And boat-wise, I'm happy to say that everything went pretty good. I got done basically everything I wanted to get done, and maybe in a few days I'll get even more done, but we'll have to see. But then there's some other things, but we're going to focus on the boat and the good things, and yeah, that's where we're going to go with this. I'd like to welcome any new subscribers. I got quite a few in the last month, so that's pretty good. Hopefully you like the videos and you stick around and keep watching them. Now, the footage I'm going to show in this video was shot in October and a little bit of November in 2019. So we're about a year behind still. This break didn't help catch up to where we are right now in real time. So I think the next few videos at least, I'm going to kind of jam like a whole month's worth of work into a video. And I think I can do that because a lot of it is repetitive stuff that I've shown before. So I may breeze over a few things here and there, but I'll kind of try to, let you know if, oh yeah, I covered this before in another video or not, with that kind of thing. So with that, let's get into the work at hand. Still working in the cockpit back here, and quite a few videos to go on this cockpit. It's a big project, and this is kind of more of a hobby type of thing for me. I don't work on it all the time, although some people might say I do. It's going to get done when it gets done. So let's get into it. Another thing you're going to notice probably is some of the footage I shot between October and February of 2020. Wasn't the greatest. I dropped the camera a couple times. The focus was not functioning properly. Things I thought were in focus and shot, and when I got back and looked on a computer, they're not great. So I'm going to have to edit out some of that stuff. Some of it I'm going to have to use because it's all I have. But so if you notice that, I apologize in advance for that. So we're here at my little shop at my house, and what you see in front of me are the port and starboard, I call them side deck framing pieces for the cockpit. Now they're upside down right now. Like I said, this is starboard one, this is port one over here. And I'm going to put 3 coats of epoxy on these. I've already sanded them down, and I'll be probably putting epoxy on about 75% of the surfaces here. I'm not going to put it on the bottoms, which are actually the tops when they're installed, because I'm going to be installing some plywood on there for the deck surface. I'm not going to epoxy this face here or the end faces, these two end pieces, because after I put the plywood in for the deck, I'm going to fiberglass it and run the fiberglass down around these surfaces. So there's no need to epoxy it now, just to sand it later. So yeah, the only thing I have to do before I start epoxying is put some plastic on my sawhorses so these don't kind of become permanent parts of the sawhorses. So I think that's the first and next thing to do. coats. Now, kind of perplexed a little bit of why I got so many air bubbles forming on these things. Temperature wasn't really changing, so it's got me baffled a little bit, but I'll have to sand them and take care of them, but here they are. We'll have to just do a little bit more work. Lucky me. And now what you're seeing in front of me are the pieces of plywood decking that are going to go on top of those frames. They're upside down right now. The other night I didn't film it, but I fiberglassed the bottoms, one layer of my fiberglass I'm using. So I don't feel the need to use peel ply. I'd like to try it someday just to see what it's all about, but I don't know. I don't mind sanding it. I sand all this stuff anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. But you can see over here where I touched it, how it has this kind of waxy kind of thing. You can see my fingerprints in there. And to get that off, you just scrub it with a Scotch pad and some water and then just dry it off. You'll know if it's on there if you try to sand it, because your sandpaper gets all clogged up with stuff, and I know that from experience when I first started using this stuff. Shop today, and kind of haven't been doing much on the boat this last week. Been working a lot at work and all those kind of things. But this morning, it's this Saturday, and I'm going to cut some pieces of, this is 3/16 stainless steel angle, and it's to attach the side frames in the cockpit to the fore and aft frames that I put in permanently. So these are going to be removable frames, and so I needed a way to connect the two, and I'll show all this later when I'm actually at the boat trying to fit this stuff in. Okay, so here's all the pieces after I cleaned them up, round over the edges, just smooth them out a little bit. And now they're ready to start drilling some holes. In the end, that's what we end up with. Well, it's now Sunday, the next day. It's pretty noisy outside with the rain. But after I fabricated the brackets rough in my shop, I came over here. I didn't film any of it, but I brought the center frame that's in front of me. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll show you in a minute. It was at home, and I set that in. I set the side frames in their position. So now I'm ready basically to install these brackets, or at least fit them up. Okay, so you're looking here at the starboard side frame. I don't know how the audio is going to come out. I may have to dub over this, but that's alright. And then here's the center frame. You can see how it's bolted in. I've shown previous episodes, I think, how I did that. And then here's the port side frame. Okay, so it's a bit of a jungle gym to get around here today with this center beam, center frame in here. Definitely going to get my exercise, but these are the brackets. There's 3 pieces for each piece, like I made the other day. I labeled these are all number 1. These 2 screw holes here will attach to this piece under here that is actually supporting this whole frame. There's one in the front. You're on the starboard side looking aft. So this is the aft frame, and behind it is the transom. And so this piece is going to go down under here. Now I've got holes drilled right through. Now I can take all this off, bring it back to my shop and drill these with the drill press the right diameter, and then bring them back and actually fit them in. Okay, I'm back from the shop. It's still raining like crazy. It actually was raining harder. I almost debated not coming back at all. But I figured I wanted to get these brackets in at least today. So anyways, I got the brackets re-drilled. I'll show you the brackets now, and then we'll put them in. So I've got all the brackets laid out here. Let's put them in. Yesterday I got the side frame all bolted in with the brackets I had made over the weekend, and now I want to refit this. I have to cut a notch in the plywood to go around that area because the ceiling boards or covering boards that go behind me here kind of notch out and notch that way around that whole area. So got a mark for that and cut that out. So gotta cut this, take this whole piece of plywood off and cut this out. Okay, now that I've cut both notches out, both pieces, port and starboard, now I've also already put them back into place with just a few screws. Now I'm going to go through and mark on each frame where all the screws are going to go, and then I'll start drilling, putting screws in. Okay, so I finally got myself a second cordless drill. So I'll be using this one to actually screw the screws in, and can use my old one to drill the holes. Monday. I was over here yesterday and I got some stuff done. I didn't really film any of it. Wasn't really feeling that great, and I just wanted to get it done and get home. So what I did was I finished putting in the last of the screws for fitting those pieces of plywood, and then I took the panels off, marked the bottoms where I was going to need to put epoxy for the frames, and then just sanded everything and prepped everything and got it ready. Didn't have enough time to actually install anything because we did change the clocks back yesterday or this weekend, and got dark pretty early. So anyways, today I'm going to put them in. I took off from work a little early, and I'm gonna go for it. I got to put in both pieces. Right after I put them in, I have to remove the whole frame assembly so I can clean off the bottoms, and then put them in the truck and bring them home so they'll dry, because it's going to be a little too cool outside for things to dry tonight here at the boat. Okay, I'm just going to mix up some epoxy. You can see this is the starboard side. All the screws are already in here. So I'm just going to put epoxy on all these areas where I had marked with a pencil where the frames are going to go. And then I'll go put some on the frames, and then we'll install it. sport side is all in. Now I cleaned off the front edge here, and now I have to take the whole thing off and flip it over just like the starboard side, and clean off all the excess ooze out on that side. And then once I do that, then I can load it in the truck and bring everything home to try. Well, that's going to be a wrap for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and you come back for the next one. So, until then, have a good one, and we'll see you really soon, right here on Renovation Sportfish.